When I started my YouTube in the summer of 2015, I made a ton of videos, but with few views. I did not mind, as I was thrilled to finally find my voice. And through that faint voice, I found my surfing friends. And the small Mystery Decoder channel grew to over 10 million total views in just 4 years. For that, I have to thank YouTube for recommending some of my videos, as that really connected me with my many unknown friends all over the world. But although I still jump up and down when I get a warm pat on the shoulder, I do feel disappointed when many of my award-winning videos fail to fetch more than a few hundred views. Well, that did not stop me from making tons and tons of videos, but did make me rethink if I was making the right videos. So about a year ago, I started making Chinese videos. The triggering point of that switch was when I decoded an important prophecy in the 1300-year-old Chinese prophecy of Tuibei Tu, poem 46. The poem said a soldier with a bow, calling himself Whitehead Old Man, overcome hidden attacks and ran into the palace through back door. The details of the prediction can be found in the link at the end. Imagining how popular such a video can be when it was made by an English YouTube channel from someone who seldom narrates. Well, the video has over 500,000 views in less than a year. And that marked the beginning of my connections with my Chinese-speaking fans. Of course, I had quite a few complaints from my English-speaking viewers. And as you can see from the link under the description, I actually tried to post an English version of my Chinese prophecy decodings on my channel also. But it can't reach many of my audience when it was not put on the recommended list by YouTube. But like I said before, I don't care how many views I get. If I believe the message is important for you, I will make it. So let me give a quick summary of what the Chinese prophecy is about and what has recently been fulfilled. The most important one is the 1300-year-old Tuibei Tu. Poems 1 through 38 foretold the tales of China's 1200-year-old history, while poem 39 used 37 words to describe the Japanese invasion of China during World War II. The poem gave out the name Japan, calling it an island country, gave the name of the two dummy governments set up by Japan, the Manchurian and Nanking-wan government, predicted China's victory and pointed out the month the conflict started and the year of Japan's defeat. Pretty amazing, right? So people hope to figure out the future through studying poem number 40, as Tuibei Tu predicted events in a strict timeline, one event after the other. And poem number 40 seemed to hint the names of Mao Zedong, Chao, Enlil, and China's leader Chiang Kai-shek. And it gave us a warning on the collapse of the Republic of China. But poem 40 was only half decoded, and everyone got stuck. Many people blamed their failure to decode the future on the prophecy. They said the prophecy is real, but the sequence after poem 40 was changed. Well, well, well. I think I just proved them wrong. After decoding poem 46, I went back and read every poem again and again, and then I realized the sequence was right. It's just that the world has changed. Events no longer happen on a line. It is a three-dimensional change with multiple events happening at the same time. For example, after World War II, there are three Chinas in the world stage. The big mainland China, ruled by the People's Republic of China, the smaller one ruled by Chiang Kai-shek's Republic of China, and Hong Kong, ruled by the United Kingdom. Hong Kong's fate was predicted in Poem 41. In my video released in December 2018, I pointed out the words the prophet used in the short poem. Quote, growing in foreign colony. And the second last line in long poem, 99 years formed a big mistake. Together with a picture showing a soldier stepping on a ball, I said, quote, it is not a ball, but the Pearl of Asia. You may wonder why people fail to notice this if the clues are so obvious. Well, it is not so obvious, as foreign colony is the same word used for growing vegetation. And most Tweetbait researchers were stuck on Poem 40. Then I found something even more shocking. The name of Deng Xiaoping in poem. The third quote on the short poem called Yin Yang in Reserve. While the first line of the long poem said, blood with no head but needs to wear hat. What does this have to do with Deng Xiaoping? Well, if you put a hat over the left part of the word head, and then move the ear, symbol in both yin and yang, from left to right, you get the name Deng, which is a very rare last name. And then the second line of the long poem stated, when will manipulation end? If the question is to ask, when will the Deng Xiaoping era end? The answer is in the poem, because Deng died in 1997, the same year when Hong Kong was returned to China. That really made me feel we are the greatest decoding team in both Chinese and English. Who else do you think can decode so many hidden messages in this 44-word prediction? And we thought we had fully decoded this poem. Well, 6 months later, in June of 2019, we realized the most important messages were still hidden, waiting to be discovered. Hong Kong was promised a unique one country, two systems status until 2043, so Hong Kong's citizens can continue the lives they are used to. Hong Kong has a British-style justice system, with rulings by British-born justices on life tenure. Hong Kong citizens can vote, but even under British control, they can only elect 1/3 of the council, with the other 1/3 voted by institution and 1/3 by non-Chinese colonial. It did not change much after 1997, so it became a point of conflict when Hong Kong citizens tried to get more control through voting. Despite some on and off smaller conflicts, Hong Kong thrived under the one country, two systems, till a Hong Kong citizen killed his girlfriend and their unborn baby in Taiwan and fled to Hong Kong. Because there is no extradition agreement between Taiwan, China, and Hong Kong, the criminal was sentenced to only 14 months in jail for using his girlfriend's credit card, instead of some type of an appropriate sentence for killing her. The Hong Kong government felt this is a loophole they must fix, as many criminals are using this and hiding in Hong Kong. So they drew a Band-Aid type of law for cases like this. Although the Band-Aid law was quite specific on the kind of crimes the law was applicable to, the media called it an attempt to change the one country, two system, which ignited a huge firestorm. Half of Hong Kong's citizens took their anger to the streets, and Hong Kong has not seen a day of peace since for the last 5 months. So, what does that have anything to do with this prophecy? Okay, this event was clearly predicted in the poem, and we have decoded part of it before the event. I mean, we said this prophecy is about Hong Kong, and after the event unfolded, we realized the most important prediction in this poem is not about the past, but about the future. So now, look at the last part of the poem, quote, ruled as king only in Chinland. Let me ask you, do you know why the world's most populous country is called China? It is because the Qin dynasty ruled China 2,000 years ago when the Western world first made contact. So the Chinese are called Qinese. So what is Qinland? It is the land in China. Rule as king only in Qinland means China rules only in China land, not in Hong Kong. And don't forget the line before that stated, quote, 99 years formed a big mistake. So let's read it together. It is saying after 99 years as a colony, which forms a big mistake, China can only rule in China land, not in Hong Kong. Yeah, 44 words. It seemed like we were writing a book on this prophecy. But last month we found another shocking hidden clue. The last 4 words of the short poem stated, quote, earth on top with sun at bottom. There are several possible combinations, but look what word appears when you take the bottom of the word sun and put the top of earth through. It's the word China. And the 2 words right before this, China, is reverse and back. Hong Kong called the extradition protest, quote, anti-back to China. Reverse means anti. Back is part of sending back, and that is right before the decoded word China. Similar decodings can be found in Poem 42, which gave out details of the Korean War, China and the USA's involvement in the war, and possible future conflicts. I found Meng Wanju's and her father Ren Zhenfei's name in Poem 43, so that must be about the trade war. Poem 44 has Ren Zhenfei's name again, with like 9 countries' names hidden. I think it is about the outcome of the trade war. Poem 45 pointed to the US's involvement in the next World War. Then developments during the last 12 months showed our decoding in Poem 46 about Mayor Han to be right on. Who would think a 1,300-year-old prophecy would waste time predicting a newly elected mayor of Taiwan's 3rd largest city? Well, let me put it this way. If he would be elected as Taiwan's next president, and the conflict between Taiwan and China may change the world, do you think he should be mentioned in the prophecy? Then later he announced his vice president pick. Believe it or not, the first and last name of the VP was in the Poem 46 also. And it also talked about some possible assassination. Of course, we saw the hint of assassination and released the first video 1 year ago. Maybe there won't be an assassination since Han's team is on high alert. However, we predicted this assassination can be done through character assassination. No one can tell what will happen next. In March 2019, we found Taiwan's current President Xi's name in Tuibei 247. That is quite shocking as we assume Han's rise in Poem 46 means he would be the one to lead Taiwan. But we found both President Xi's first and last name with her nickname on Poem 47. So we released our video about that finding, together with some wild guesses on what the other part of the poem may mean. Basically, the last 2 sentences stated, best to read some old books. Honest words bring out the truth. 3 months ago, President Xi's political opponents questioned the legality of her PhD. President Xi's resume showed that she earned her PhD at age 27, became a professor in Taiwan, and then a cabinet minister, and then eventually elected as president. How can anyone question someone with such credentials? I won't give you the details on her PhD degree, but I can tell you that there are quite some evidences that are hard to ignore. So now, what do you think about our Chinese prophecy? This is Ken Peters. Thank you for watching.